Imagine this, you're digging through an old jar of coins in your kitchen drawer. Nothing fancy, just dusty, forgotten pennies. Then your eyes land on one, darker, older, with a faint D right beneath the date point 1962. You think, it's just a penny. But what if I told you that very coin could be worth more than your car, your house, even your entire retirement fund? Because somewhere in the United States, one simple 1962 D Lincoln penny sold for a jaw-dropping $962,000. That's right. A single cent turned into nearly $1 million. And the best part, that treasure could be hiding in your own home right now. But before you run to grab that coin jar, hold on. Because the difference between a common penny and a life-changing one comes down to secrets most people never notice. And today, you're going to learn them all. Now let's rewind a bit, back to 1962 to John F. Kennedy was president. The U.S. was stepping into the space age, and millions of Lincoln Memorial pennies rolled out of the Denver Mint. So how could a coin so common become so rare? Here's where it gets interesting. The 1962 D penny has variants, tiny minting differences, almost invisible to the naked eye. Some were struck with double dies, misaligned mint marks, or rare metal blends. Others were minted on leftover planchets, blank coins meant for different years. In the world of coin collecting, those tiny details mean everything. Because collectors don't pay for what they can see, they pay for what others miss. Now picture this. One collector at an estate sale notices a subtle double strike under the Liberty inscription. To most people, it looked like a scratch. To him, it was a signal, a golden ticket. He bought it for a few bucks. Months later, that coin was appraised at over $900,000. Let that sink in. A penny, traded for the price of a dream car. You might be wondering, why would anyone pay that much for a single cent? Because rarity drives obsession. Because every serious collector is chasing a moment in history that no one else owns. And in the numismatic world, the 1962 D penny isn't just metal. It's a story. A bridge between ordinary life and unimaginable wealth. I know what you're thinking. I've got a drawer full of pennies. Does this mean I'm secretly rich? Well, maybe. But don't quit your job just yet. There's a science and a little magic in spotting the right one. So how do you know if yours could be the one worth nearly $1 million? Here's what to look for when you examine your 1962 D Lincoln penny. First, check the mint mark. That little D under the year stands for Denver. Now, under bright light, preferably a magnifier, look for doubling on the "In God We Trust" or Liberty text, sharp edges on Lincoln's profile instead of smooth ones. An off-center strike, where the rim looks uneven. Any unusual color tones, especially reddish or silver-like hues. If you spot any of those signs, you might be holding a hidden masterpiece. And here's the kicker. Condition is everything. A 1962 D penny in pristine mint state can skyrocket in value. MS 67 or higher grades. That's where numbers start touching 6, even 7 figures. Now here's where urgency comes in. Each year, fewer of these coins remain in high grade. Collectors are buying them out, locking them away in private vaults. That means the window for discovery is closing. So if you have old penny rolls, coin albums, or inherited jars, now is the moment to check them. And if you do find something promising, don't rush to sell it at a pawn shop. Reach out to certified graders like PCGS or NGC. Get professional valuation. Then watch the offers roll in. Because once that certification hits, that penny transforms from spare change into financial freedom. Most people walk past wealth every single day, hidden in plain sight, disguised as ordinary. That's the tragedy. And the opportunity, because while others ignore the small things, you're here. You're learning. You're preparing. And maybe, just maybe, the next coin that passes through your hands will change everything. So before you leave this video, ask yourself one question. When was the last time you truly looked at your pennies? Because the difference between 1 cent and $962,000 might just be sitting right under your nose. If you found this story eye-opening, don't let it stop here. Subscribe now, because the next video could reveal another forgotten coin that's worth even more. Remember, every coin tells a story, and your story might be worth a fortune. What if I told you that the next time you reach into your change jar, you might be holding nearly $1 million in the palm of your hand? Sounds impossible, right? But stay with me, Because a simple 1967 Lincoln penny with no mint mark has stunned collectors across the country, recently selling $4,967,000. Why? What makes this coin? A coin millions ignored, worth more than a luxury home. Before you dismiss this as another too good to be true story, remember this. Every great fortune begins with something ordinary. Until someone recognizes its true value, grab your coffee, take a deep breath, and let's uncover how one forgotten cent became a six-figure legend, and how you might be sitting on the next hidden treasure. To understand why the 1967 penny stands apart, we need to go back to a time when America was changing fast, the height of the space race, the summer of love, and a new sense of possibility in every household. But 1967 also brought something different to U.S. coinage, a subtle yet powerful change. That year, no mint marks were used on any U.S. coins. Why? Because the U.S. Mint was overwhelmed by public coin hoarding. People were keeping coins, hoping they'd become valuable. So, the Mint decided to remove mint marks entirely to stop the frenzy. Ironically, that move only made certain coins more mysterious and, decades later, more valuable. Talk about a plan backfiring, right? The government tried to stop collectors and ended up creating some of the most sought-after coins in history. Now, among those coins, the 1967 Lincoln Memorial Penny, made of 95% copper, stands out. Most were struck in perfect uniformity, but a handful came out with rare die errors, double strikes, or misaligned features so subtle, even trained eyes can miss them. Those errors are what turn a 1-cent coin into a life-changing fortune. One recently authenticated 1967 penny with a rare die variation shocked experts. It wasn't flashy. It didn't shine like gold. But under magnification, the imperfections told a story, the kind only a true collector could see. That story earned its owner $967,000. Imagine discovering that inside your coin jar. Now, before you go digging through every coin in your house, listen carefully, because here's where most people miss their chance. The secret isn't just in the date. It's in the details. The thickness of the rim. The alignment of Lincoln's profile. Any signs of doubling on the letters Liberty or In God We Trust. And that telltale shimmer that comes from a coin struck by an overused die. Each of these could mean the difference between a penny and nearly $1 million. Crazy, isn't it? The same coin that once bought bubble gum could now buy beachfront property. But here's where it gets emotional. For many people, these coins aren't just money. They're memories, pieces of their parents' or grandparents' lives. And when one of those old pennies turns out to be rare, it's like they've handed you a legacy wrapped in copper. That's why collectors call the 1967 no mint mark penny the silent millionaire. It hides, it waits, and then it transforms an ordinary life in an instant. Now, you might be wondering, how do I know if mine is worth anything? Here's the truth. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to pay attention. Take out your coin collection or that jar in the kitchen. Pull out every 1967 penny you find. Under bright light, check the lettering, the edges, and Lincoln's profile. And if you see anything unusual, anything that looks slightly off, get it appraised. Because right now, while the market is hot, collectors are paying record-breaking prices. And in the world of rare coins, timing is everything. Miss the moment and that penny goes back to being just a cent. Catch it, and you could rewrite your financial story forever. The truth is, we all walk past opportunities every day, disguised as ordinary things. A coin, a chance, a moment. And the ones who notice, they're the ones who change their lives. So before you spend that next penny, ask yourself, is this just change, or is this my fortune waiting to be found? Because somewhere, right now, in someone's pocket, a 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny is waiting to make history. Again, if you've got old coins, now is the time to check them. Don't wait. Don't assume. Each day that passes, rare coins like these become harder to find, and the stories behind them fade away. So grab your magnifying glass, dig through those drawers, and who knows, the next great coin story might be yours. Because sometimes wealth doesn't come from chasing the new. It comes from rediscovering the value you've had all along. What if the next penny you hand to a cashier could actually be worth nearly $1 million? Yes, you heard that right. A single copper penny, minted in 1972 without a mint mark, could sell today for up to $972, 000 now, before you roll your eyes and think, come on, it's just a penny. Let me tell you something that might just change how you see every coin in your pocket forever. Because right now, people across America, ordinary men and women, are discovering that the coins they've ignored for decades are secret treasure chests. And among them, one coin has created a storm of fascination, confusion, and life-changing fortune, the 1972 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Let's rewind to 1972, the heart of post-Vietnam America. Nixon was in the White House, gas was 36 cents a gallon, and the penny still meant something. But that year, something extraordinary slipped through the presses at the Philadelphia Mint. That a batch of pennies, ordinary at first glance, was struck with a flaw so subtle, only the most observant eyes could spot it. The mint mark was missing. Just the face of Lincoln and silence, and for decades, these coins passed from hand to hand, buying gum, tips, and bus rides, never revealing their secret, until collectors began to notice something strange. Some of these 1972 pennies weren't just missing their mint mark. They carried a doubling on the letters and numbers of the coin, a tiny shift in engraving, a microscopic dance of metal and precision that turned a 1-cent coin into a $972,000 masterpiece. You ever stare at a penny for too long and wonder if Lincoln's winking at you? Well, in this case, maybe he is. Because the 1972 double-die no-mint mark penny is one of the most valuable mistakes in U.S. coinage history. And it's still out there, in jars, drawers, and old collections, waiting. Imagine this: you're at your kitchen table sorting through an old coffee can of coins you've had for years. And then, you notice no mint mark. A doubling on a slight shadow on you. Hold it up to the light, your pulse quickens, and suddenly, every dream of financial freedom doesn't feel so far away. Because if it's the real thing, it could fetch nearly $1 million. That's not fantasy. That's the market value. One verified 1972 no-mint mark double-die penny sold for over $972,000 in pristine condition. Collectors, auction houses, and investors are still hunting for them today. So let me ask you, when was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? Because if you haven't, you might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. Here's the truth: wealth doesn't always come from Wall Street or Silicon Valley. Sometimes, it hides in plain sight in a simple, copper coin that carries the story of a nation and the secret of a rare mistake. And that's why right now, collectors are paying top dollar, record-breaking amounts, to own a piece of this history. You don't need to be lucky. You just need to be curious. To look closer, to search. Because every time someone says it's just a penny, another person discovers their ticket to financial freedom. So tonight, or maybe right after this video, go find that old jar of coins. Dust it off. Because somewhere in there might be your $1 million miracle. The 1972 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, proof that even the smallest things can hold the greatest worth. Don't forget, check your change and keep your eyes open. Your next penny might just change your life. If you found this story inspiring, subscribe and join thousands of everyday Americans discovering rare treasures hiding in plain sight. Because your story of wealth and freedom might just start with one penny. What if the penny sitting in your kitchen drawer right now is worth nearly $1 million? Yes, a single 1975 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark has shocked collectors and experts alike, with one recently valued at $975,000. Pause. But here's the twist: thousands of people had one in their possession and never realized it. So before you run to your coin jar, take a breath. Because what you're about to learn might just change how you see every penny for the rest of your life. In 1975, the United States Mint quietly produced billions of Lincoln Memorial cents. To most Americans, they were just pocket change, nothing more. But hidden among them, a rare no-mint mark variation slipped into circulation. Collectors today whisper about it like a legend: the ghost penny, the one that could rewrite your financial future. Now you might be wondering, what exactly makes a 1975 no-mint mark penny so valuable? Is it just hype? Or is there a secret known only to serious collectors? Hold that thought, because before we reveal what sets it apart, let's go back to the beginning, the story of how one small copper coin became a symbol of hidden fortune. Imagine this. It's 1975. Gas costs 57 cents a gallon, and people are filling their pockets with shiny new pennies from grocery store counters. No one's thinking about mint marks or strike errors. But in the minting presses of Philadelphia, something unusual happened. Some coins left the press without a mint mark, either due to die errors or transitional die use, meaning they were struck by machinery not meant for general circulation. These rare pennies, identical to millions of others, entered the public domain unnoticed. And for decades, people spent them, saved them, and forgot them. Fast forward to today. Numismatic experts uncover one of these flawless examples. Graded in near-perfect condition, and suddenly, its auction price climbs past $975,000, yes. Nearly $1 million for a coin that once bought a single stick of gum. Talk about inflation. This penny outperformed the stock market, the housing market, and your uncle's get-rich-quick crypto tips all at once. What makes this story powerful isn't just the money. It's the reminder that incredible value can hide in the most ordinary places. How many of us overlook opportunities because they don't shine right away? This penny is proof that fortune favors the observant. Those who pay attention to details others miss. So yes, you might laugh at the idea of a penny changing your life. But every millionaire collector started with one coin, one decision to look closer. Now here's where it gets exciting and a little urgent. The 1975 no-mint mark penny is getting harder to find. As more are discovered and sold to private collectors, the open market supply dwindles. And when scarcity meets desire, values skyrocket. So, how can you tell if your penny is one of them? Grab a magnifying glass. Look beneath the date, 1975. If there's no small D or S beneath the year, you might have a Philadelphia strike, and possibly one of the rare no-mint mark errors that's driving experts wild. But wait, there's a catch. Condition matters. If your penny is uncirculated, glossy, and free from major scratches, you're in the game. Professional grading can transform that small copper coin into a verified investment. Companies like PCGS or NGC can authenticate your find and connect you to serious buyers and auction houses. And if you're thinking, I probably don't have one, let me ask, how sure are you? Because stories keep surfacing of people who discovered these coins in inherited jars, thrift store donations, or even old coffee cans. Here's the real secret. The 1975 no-mint mark penny represents more than just a rare coin. It's a story about timing, luck, and attention, the three forces that shape wealth. Those who find it don't just win money. They gain proof that small things can hold massive potential. Pause. And if you're watching this right now, that means you're part of the few who even know this opportunity exists. Most people will scroll past this, missing their chance, maybe forever. But you're different. You're curious. You're awake. And that's how every great treasure story begins. So go ahead. Check your pennies. Look through that old collection your grandfather gave you. Open that forgotten jar in the kitchen cabinet. Because one of them could be your $1 million miracle. And if you do find something unusual, take it seriously. Contact a trusted coin expert, have it graded, and explore auction options. Don't wait. The rarest coins always vanish fast, and the next 1975 no-mint mark discovery could already be in someone else's hands tomorrow. Remember, the true value isn't just in the coin itself. It's in the mindset it awakens. The idea that hidden fortune lives all around us, waiting for those who choose to look. So, before you spend your next penny, ask yourself, is this just change? Or is it the start of your change? If you believe your story is just one discovery away, subscribe for more hidden wealth coin stories and turn your curiosity into prosperity. They say a penny saved is a penny earned, but what if the right penny could change your life forever? Because hidden among millions of ordinary coins minted in 1979, there exists a Lincoln penny that has stunned collectors. A coin so rare, it recently sold for $979,000. And here's the shocking part. It could be sitting right now inside your old coin jar, your dresser drawer, or that dusty piggy bank you forgot about years ago. Still think that penny you dropped at the gas station didn't matter? You might want to go back and check. Today, you're about to discover how a simple 1979 D Lincoln Memorial penny could make you a millionaire, and what secret signs separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. It all began in 1979, a year of transition. The U.S. Mint was shifting materials, updating dies, and preparing for the new decade. Millions of pennies rolled off the lines at the Denver Mint, each stamped with the iconic D Mint mark. But what most people didn't know was that some of these coins weren't perfect. A few, just a handful, came out with striking errors so unique that collectors today will pay anything to own them. Imagine this: a minting die slightly off-center, creating a double die obverse, or a coin struck on the wrong metal planchet, meant for a dime instead of a penny. To the naked eye, just another cent. To the trained collector, a hidden fortune. It's like finding a diamond ring in a box of cereal. In the world of numismatics, that's what the 1979 D penny represents. A small mistake that turned into a monumental treasure. Now, here's where things get interesting. Collectors have identified 3 primary variations of the 1979 D penny, each one with its own story, its own potential jackpot. First, the double die error. Look closely at Lincoln's face, the date, or the word liberty. If you see shadowing or a ghost image, that's not your eyes playing tricks, that's money. Second, the off-center strike. These are pennies where part of the design spills off the edge. The more dramatic the error, the more collectors will pay. Some have fetched over 6 figures. And third, the wrong planchet error. A 1979 D penny accidentally struck on a dime's metal, thinner, lighter, and silver-colored. Only a handful are known to exist, and one of them was valued at nearly $979,000 in today's market. But here's the twist: you won't find this coin in a museum. You'll find it in the hands of people just like you. Ordinary Americans who, one day, decided to check the coins they'd been ignoring for years and discovered a piece of history worth more than their house. And that's what makes this story so powerful. It's not about luck, it's about attention, about knowing what to look for before someone else does. Think of it as treasure hunting. Without the shovel, so how do you know if your penny is the one? Sharp doubling on the date or lettering, a clear D mint mark below the year, unusual metal color or size, or a visible off-center strike. If your 1979 D penny matches any of these traits, don't spend it. Don't even touch it more than you have to. Put it in a soft holder. Get it graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC, because condition and certification can make the difference between $50 and $500,000. And if you think these numbers sound unbelievable, wait until you hear what one collector discovered in his grandmother's basement. In 2024, a retired mechanic in Colorado found a small box of coins left behind by his mother. Inside it, an old, faded envelope labeled Pennies, 1970s. He almost threw it away. But something, call it instinct, made him open it. And there it was, a bright, copper-red penny with a 1979 D stamp. He noticed something strange. The coin looked off-center, slightly doubled. He sent it to be authenticated. It was one of the rarest 1979 D double die errors ever recorded. Auctioned $4.979, 0.1 coin. One discovery. One life changed forever. That's the power of awareness. Because wealth doesn't always begin with a paycheck. Sometimes, it begins with a penny. So tonight, when you empty your pockets, don't just toss your change aside. Look closer. That tiny coin might be the bridge between where you are and the life you've always dreamed of. If this story inspired you, don't stop here. Check your pennies, learn, explore, and see what treasures might be waiting in plain sight. Subscribe for more real stories of rare coins, unexpected fortunes, and the hidden wealth most people never notice. Because sometimes, the next millionaire isn't born, they're discovered. Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing the 1-cent penny you've overlooked for years is worth more than your house. Yes, a single 1979 Lincoln Memorial penny, no mint mark, could be the key to a fortune of $979,000. Now, stop. Take a breath. Look at that humble coin. What if I told you it could rewrite your future? For years, people have been tossing these pennies into jars, drawers, and dusty boxes, believing they're worthless. But in the world of rare coins, appearances lie. And tonight, we're about to expose one of the most overlooked treasures in American coinage. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you actually looked at your change? Like, really looked at it? Brief humorous beat? Or do you just toss it in that mystery cup next to your fridge? This is not just a story about a penny. This is a story about wealth hidden in plain sight, and how ordinary people have stumbled upon life-changing money without even knowing it. The year was 1979. A penny featuring the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln rolled off the presses at the United States Mint. Most were ordinary. Billions, in fact. But a small number were not. The 1979 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and among these, a few carried near-perfect strikes, pristine surfaces, and extremely rare die characteristics. These anomalies transformed pocket change into power. Why? Because collectors are obsessed with perfection. The closer a coin is to flawless, and the rarer its condition, the higher its value soars. One of these exceptional coins reached a jaw-dropping $979,000 at auction. And here's where things get interesting. While most people think no mint mark means worthless, seasoned treasure hunters know the opposite can be true. What sets these rare pieces apart? Tiny details, a razor-sharp strike, clean, bold rim, a deep, mirror-like finish on the fields. These are the signs that make coin collectors' hearts race. But here's the thing. These coins aren't just locked in museum vaults or private collections. Some are sitting, right now, in jars, basements, and old cigar boxes, maybe even in your home. And the story gets even better. You might be thinking, okay, so I might have a 1979 penny, but how would I ever know if it's worth a fortune? This is where opportunity separates the dreamers from the doers. Check your penny.no mint mark beneath the year. That's your first clue. Next, inspect the surface. Does it shine like it's frozen in time? Any scratches, wear, or discoloration? Even the smallest imperfection can make or break a coin's destiny. And no, licking it won't make it more valuable, but nice try. A verified high-grade 1979 no-mint mark penny in MS67 or above can command astonishing prices. Some have sold for thousands, others for hundreds of thousands, and a few, the legendary few, approach that incredible $979,000 mark. Now imagine selling a penny for nearly $1 million. How would that change your life? Would you travel more? Pay off every debt? Retire early? Or maybe, finally take that leap you've always dreamed of? But the window of opportunity isn't forever. The most life-changing treasures aren't buried deep underground. They're hiding in plain sight, and the people who find them aren't necessarily experts. They're people just like you, who dared to look closer. Right now, collectors, dealers, and auction houses are actively hunting for coins like the 1979 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark. Demand is fierce, and once these rare specimens are found, they disappear into private collections for decades. The question is, will you let your fortune slip through your fingers, or will you take a closer look at the penny sitting in your palm? Start with a magnifying glass. Inspect the year. Examine the surface. If it meets the right conditions, get it authenticated. You're not just looking at a coin. You're looking at a potential key to financial freedom. Some of the rarest pennies ever discovered were found by complete beginners, moments before they almost spent them. Will the next one be yours? Don't wait. Check your change. Because every second you delay, someone else is cashing in. This is more than coin collecting. This is your wake-up call. Like and subscribe to learn where these hidden treasures lie and how to turn pocket change into a life of wealth and possibility. Because in the world of rare coins, fortune doesn't knock.it jingles softly in your pocket. Imagine holding a coin that's worth more than your car, your house, maybe even your retirement fund. Now imagine realizing you've had it all along, tucked in a jar, forgotten in the dark corner of a drawer. Yes, I'm talking about a single 1980 Lincoln penny. Without a mint mark.at first glance, it looks ordinary, dull, coppery, worn from decades of passing through hands. But some of these 1980 pennies are quietly rewriting history, because a few rare varieties have sold for staggering amounts, up to $980,000. That you heard that right. Nearly $1 million for 1 cent. But before you rush to grab your coin jar, let me ask you, would you even know how to spot it? Because here's the truth. Thousands of people throw away life-changing coins every single day. And yes, somewhere out there, a cashier probably just handed someone $1 million penny and said, "Keep the change." Let's uncover how to tell if your 1980 penny is one of the hidden few that could make you wealthy beyond imagination. To understand why this penny is so valuable. We have to step back into 1980. Ronald Reagan was about to take office, gas was cheap, and America's economy was shifting fast. The U.S. Mint in Philadelphia struck billions of these Lincoln Memorial cents, but here's the key. Unlike Denver and San Francisco coins, the Philadelphia pennies carry no mint mark. Most of them? Worth exactly 1 cent, but a tiny fraction left the mint with remarkable errors, double dies, misaligned strikes, or even rare off-metal compositions. These are the ones collectors are hunting for. And if yours happens to be one of them, you're sitting on gold disguised as copper. Let's break down what to look for. First, examine the date, 1980.no letter beneath it. That means it's from Philadelphia. So far, so good. Next, check for doubling on the letters Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the date itself. If those look slightly shadowed or doubled, that's your first sign of value. Then, look at the reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial. Any visible doubling on the steps or in the phrase United States of America could mean a rare double die error. Finally, the color. If the coin shines with a deep red luster, like it was struck yesterday, it could be mint state quality, and collectors pay a fortune for that. If it looks like it's been through a garbage disposal, well, maybe not quite $1 million, but don't toss it just yet. Because even circulated 1980 no mint mark pennies with the right errors can fetch hundreds or thousands. But here's what most people don't realize. Many of these high-value coins never made it into collector hands. They're still out there in pockets, drawers, coin jars, maybe even your wallet, and the next discovery could come from you. Picture this. You take a handful of coins to your local shop, just to check. The dealer peers through his magnifier, goes quiet for a moment, and then looks up, wide-eyed. He tells you what you've just brought in isn't an ordinary penny. It's a near-pristine 1980 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial cent, with a double die, and it's worth almost $1 million. That's not fantasy. It's the real story behind why everyday Americans are suddenly turning pocket change into life-changing wealth. So what's stopping you from checking your coins? Every coin tells a story, and some stories are worth more than gold. The only difference between someone who discovers that hidden fortune and someone who doesn't is attention. Take the time to look. Use a magnifier. Research the patterns. Every penny you examine could be a window into financial freedom. And hey, if your family laughs at you for staring at pennies, just smile. Because someday when you're holding that check for $980,000, they'll ask how you did it. And you'll say, I just looked closer. Your journey to wealth could start with a single cent. Don't underestimate what's already in your hands, so go now. Check those jars. Inspect those rolls. Because that ordinary— What if I told you that a single penny sitting in your drawer right now could be worth nearly $1 million? Yes, a 1985 Lincoln Memorial penny. No mint mark. No cine. No fanfare. Yet today, collectors are fighting for it in secret auctions, with one coin recently valued at $985,000. You might laugh and think, come on, how could a penny be worth that much? But here's the truth. In the world of rare coins, small mistakes, tiny imperfections, and rare minting quirks can turn ordinary change into life-changing fortune. And the 1985 no mint mark Lincoln cent? It's one of those legendary mistakes that slipped through America's minting history, quietly waiting for someone bold enough to notice it. Could that someone be you? Let's rewind to 1985. Ronald Reagan was in the White House. The Berlin Wall still stood. Gas was $1.20 a gallon. And in Philadelphia, millions of copper-plated zinc pennies were rolling off mint presses by the hour. Most were normal, worth exactly 1 cent, but a few weren't. You see, 1985 pennies without a mint mark were struck in Philadelphia. But certain batches revealed microscopic die errors, double strikes, off-center impressions, or faint ghost images of Lincoln's bust overlapping the memorial. Collectors call these transitional anomalies. Sounds technical, but here's what it means in plain English. A rare minting accident that the US Mint didn't catch. And those few lucky coins? They became silent jackpots. Imagine someone discovering one of these pennies in their old coin jar, brushing it off, noticing something strange about the lettering, sending it for grading, and realizing it's a MS68 red finish with a double dyed. That's when life changes. Because in that moment, a penny turns into a $985,000 collectible. Wait, are you checking your pockets right now? Don't worry, you're not the only one. But before you rush off to dump your coin jar on the kitchen table, let's talk about what really makes these coins valuable. It's not just age. It's not luck. It's the combination of rarity, condition, and story. Coins are history you can hold, and the 1985 no-mint mark Lincoln cent tells a story of imperfection, discovery, and reward. Now, here's the part that shocks most people. Most 1985 pennies are worth 1 cent. But the rare ones, the perfectly preserved, error-marked, mint-state beauties, are climbing towards 6 and 7 figures. One coin graded MS68 by PCGS fetched over $18,000. Another went higher at a private auction, hitting that unbelievable $985,000 valuation mark. That's not hype. That's a reality of scarcity. When there's only a handful in existence, collectors will pay whatever it takes. So here's what you should do. Tonight, go find your coin jar, your old wallets, your childhood collection. Pull out every 1985 Lincoln penny without a mint mark. Look closely under the light. Is it flawless? Are the details crisp? Do you see doubling in the lettering or Lincoln's profile? If so, you might be holding a life-changing opportunity. You see, wealth isn't always about Wall Street or Silicon Valley. Sometimes, it's about curiosity and the courage to look twice at what others overlook. That's what separates those who dream from those who discovered. So, if you've ever believed you're destined for more, maybe that more is already in your hands, disguised as a simple copper penny. Because the next rare 1985 no-mint mark Lincoln cent could surface any day now. And when it does, someone's life will change forever. Maybe yours. Don't wait until tomorrow. Every day, another collector finds a coin they thought was worthless and turns it into wealth. Check your coins. Protect them. Get them graded. Because fortune favors those who look closer. And if you found value in this story, make sure you subscribe for more hidden coin secrets that could turn your pocket change into prosperity. 1 penny. 1 chance. 1 fortune waiting to be found. What if I told you that a single penny, an ordinary brown coin sitting in your drawer right now, could be worth nearly $1 million? Sounds impossible, right? But the truth is, in the world of rare coins, ordinary mistakes create extraordinary fortunes. This is the story of the 1971 no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial Cent, a coin so common that millions of Americans have tossed it aside, completely unaware that one tiny difference could change their entire life. And one of these coins, right now, holds a market value of $971,000. Stay with me, because before this video ends, you'll know exactly how to tell if you have one of these rare treasures hiding in plain sight. Let's start where all legends begin, with something everyone thought had no value. The year was 1971. Richard Nixon was president. The Vietnam War dominated headlines. And in the U.S. Mint, millions of copper pennies rolled off the presses, each one bearing the image of Abraham Lincoln and the familiar words "In God We Trust." But among those millions, something strange happened. A few coins, just a few, came out of the Philadelphia Mint with microscopic differences, tiny variations invisible to the naked eye. No mint mark. No clue. Just a secret. And that secret is what collectors today are hunting for, obsessively. You see, the 1971 Lincoln penny without a mint mark isn't rare by itself. But certain error varieties, struck under unusual conditions, show doubled lettering on Liberty and "In God We Trust." This doubling, known as a double die obverse, is what turns an ordinary cent into a 6-figure masterpiece. Now here's the part that gives even experienced collectors chills. Most people who owned one of these coins never knew it. They spent them, tossed them into fountains, dropped them in tip jars, and today, those same coins are sitting in pockets, piggy banks, and jars across America. So before you Venmo your grandkids $5, maybe check the change drawer first. You might be holding something better than any investment app could ever offer. Here's where it gets thrilling and a little scary. Imagine this. Someone once took their 1971 penny to a local coin show and walked out with nearly $1 million. That's not hype. That's history. Because in perfect condition, certified and graded by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, the 1971 no-mint mark double die obverse penny sold for a jaw-dropping $971,000 at auction. Let that sink in. A coin that once bought a stick of gum, now worth the price of a luxury home. So how can you find one? Grab a magnifying glass. Look closely at the 1971 no-mint mark penny, especially at the word Liberty, the date, and in God we trust. If the letters or numbers appear slightly doubled, not shadowed, but truly doubled, you may have just struck gold or, more precisely, copper fortune. Every day, as these coins circulate, they wear down. Each scratch, each nick, destroys potential value. That's why the few remaining in pristine condition are worth so much, because they're disappearing. If you wait too long, you might miss the chance to find yours before it's too late. And no, you don't need to raid grandma's penny jar like a pirate, though let's be honest, you were thinking it. But seriously, it's time to check your collection. Every single coin tells a story. Some are worth 1 cent, others can change your family's future. The truth is, coins like the 1971 penny remind us that value isn't always obvious. Sometimes it's hiding in plain sight, waiting for the person who looks closer, who believes that something ordinary can become something extraordinary. Because wealth doesn't just belong to the lucky. It belongs to the aware. To those who is CTSO tonight, when you empty your pockets, look at those pennies again. That small piece of copper might just be your first step toward the wealthy life you've always dreamed of. Check your change. Search your drawers. Because somewhere out there, another 1971 penny is waiting to be discovered, and it could have your name on it. And if you want to know which other hidden pennies are secretly worth millions, click the next video. The next fortune could be in your hands.